We've got three things planned for today. First off is taking this tower and adding it to one of these base plates. So we're gonna put a base plate and then also build a whole environment around it and add in a little bit of waterway and make the water look really nice. So it's just gonna look very good. And then second off, we have these minifigures that I got some capes for. So we're gonna just throw these minifigures, make them look just a whole lot snazzier. And then lastly, we're gonna be doing a little bit of designing inside our notebook to figure out kind of what our main plan is to do with this fantasy world. So to get this base plate going, we need to get a whole bunch of bricks and set them down on the base plate. So it's really gonna be just a whole long process of laying these out thematically. We have our outline all done, so now what we gotta do is take and put our castle, just kind of set it on top. And now this is a really weak castle because the only connection point is down here at the bottom. So we kind of just set it on, and I've measured it beforehand, and it's gonna be a perfect length across. And so we're gonna put it in the center and build all the decoration kind of around it. But what I was thinking is we're gonna inset our river kind of base level. So what we're gonna do is do base, kind of just put a bunch of these tiles on right here, and then on top of those blue or black tiles or plates, we will tile it off with all these water tiles to make a nice looking river come down the center. I've got the castle tower built up, but now what we gotta do is take off these water pieces so that we can place the tiles and figure out how we want to do the water. Probably outline it with blue, and then in the center we'll have black because then it will look slightly deeper down the center. So here's the before where there's the plates to tiles, and it kind of transitions through the colors, and then when you put the tiles on top, it becomes a little bit hard to see the harshness of these lines and just looks almost like a transition of depth in water. And so I like the way it looks a lot. So I'm thinking I'm gonna follow this shape and have the waterway kind of curve out and curve through this section instead of just being a straight line. We'll give it a little bit more life. The water path is done, and now all we have to do is figure out the rock face around it, but that is definitely a huge upgrade. So just imagine what this is gonna look like with just a little bit of landscaping around the edges and then the rocks on both sides. I just love how taking a Lego set, like this is the normal Lego set, and just adding so much to it to make it more lively. And here we go. I think I am done putting this all together. So what I kind of decided to do is have this side be all stone and barren, so very gray. And then on the other side, the knight's castle side has beautiful trees, and we should probably do something about in here. Maybe add some treasure or something that the skeletons are trying to get to. I really did not do too much detailing for these environments, but they really help sell the mood and make the tower feel much more complete. And maybe some of you will notice that this tree is just stolen from the Thestral set. That is this Harry Potter set. Now that we're done with our first task, let's move that to the side and pull in our archers. So who we're gonna be working with today is the rangers that we built last time. And what I've done is we got these capes. So we have many types, and the main color that we're gonna be using are these dark blue. And I got so many of them. I think I got 40 so that we can use the ones, add it to those rangers, and then as I said, we have some elves that we're working on as well. And then I think these are gonna be for Rohirrim. And then we have red and purple and white to work on to make royal captains and guards. So I'll kind of show you what I've been thinking, because you can dual color, like make the backside purple and then the inside white. So this is what a knight would look like with no cape. And then we could give him a purple cape, which adds an element of royalness. So he looks like maybe he'd be a captain. But see, it looks kind of funny on this side to have purple, but that side looks good. So then what we could do is have this guy where from this angle, he looks great. Black Falcon has the white, and then we turn him around and he's like, oh, all royal. So that we just layer two capes on top of each other to give that little bit of depth. So we could do those for our captains. So that's what I got, the little extras. But now on to the rangers. We have so many of these capes. So I think what we're gonna have to end up doing is put the cape and then the quiver on. Here is an example of what we're gonna have to do to all of our guys. So that's not too hard. And he definitely looks so much better, like he's an actual ranger, all cloaked. Like his hood now makes sense. So here's the comparison, like at a before and after. Having the hood really completes the look. It looks like we are gonna have to do cape and then quiver, because if we do quiver and then cape on top, it ends up poking out a whole bunch and looking a little funky. I did go ahead and test out putting dual color on the ranger, and it looks really good, blue on that side, and then having the dark brown on this side does look really nice. So I think the captain will leave like that. Maybe we could send a purple, but I think brown fits the rangers really well. And then we have our normal ranger on this side with blue on both sides, which really does not look that bad. Finishing up these figures has made me realize we need to make somewhere for them to live. So I'm thinking a perfect place would be a forest. So what we're gonna have to do is kind of build a forest hideout for the rangers to live at, kind of like we have this tower. So we're gonna do that, and as you can see, we have these pins right here, so we'll be able to start connecting our world together. So that's kind of the big goal and plan. So we'll have all these buildings like this and environments that we can just snap together, and it will end up being a cohesive world, which does lead us to our next item of business. We got to figure out what we're actually going to be building in this fantasy world. So I'm thinking we'll have a forestman area, our Black Falcons, Lord of the Rings, trolls, skeletons, lion knights, and dragon knights. So here's a very rough idea, and I also totally forgot to add dwarves. So like there's 2 base plates right there, and then the dragon knights could have 3, and then maybe do some Shire, Lord of the Rings stuff in the center, maybe a battlefield in the center. I was thinking lion knights and falcons are probably gonna be kind of friends, so they can be next to each other. And then up here we'd have the forestmen, and then the rangers kind of make a forest up in this area, and then a mountain range on this side. Having this rough outline of the map will be so helpful. Things are bound to change, but that's good. And if you have any thoughts on what I should do in this medieval fantasy world, let me know. And remember, you are awesome.